Tuppence Magazine! Hey everyone, and welcome back to us here at Tuppence Magazine, and we are returning to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild because the Nintendo Direct presentation we recently had on Xenoblade Chronicles 2 indicates that there is a new outfit or new costume for us to get, so we are heading out to do that. So essentially within the game you'll find a new quest, and the new quest gives you 3 new clues. And the first clue is the southern sky from the middle of the largest bridge, and that means Lake Tower in Lake Hylia. So here we are down in Lake Tower, and the middle is this fountain here. But there are a few Lizanthos for us to take out, so we're going to just quickly get rid of those before we move on to the next part of this mission. Now, if you're familiar with any kind of side mission similar to this, where you're given clues and you've got to try and figure out how to kind of get them, you'll know you need to be in the dark. So at the moment it is light time, so we're just going to fast travel over here to Garuda Town, and we're just going to head in. So obviously we'll need to do a bit of a change of clothes to be able to make it in, because we know there is a fire handy here that we can go to be able to make it night time. So we're just going to head over to that fire now, and we need to quickly light it. So we're just going to grab that torch and light it here, and we can now sit here and wait it out till night time. So if you just flick down and choose night, suddenly it is night time, and we can then fast travel back over to Lake Tower to be able to try and get the first part of the new outfit. So once you're back here, you kind of need to work your way back around, and you need to head down to the bridge. So just take a running jump, do a little bit of a fly down, and you will be back in the middle in no time. So when you get a little bit closer to the ground, you'll be able to land and head in back to the fountain in the middle. However, we've still got one of those Lizanthos in the way, so we're just going to head over and take him out of the equation so that we can then concentrate on this task at hand. So just kind of knock him off the bridge and we can head back in. Now we want to face towards the south, so that is back down the bridge. So you can kind of check our arrow in the bottom right hand corner to see which direction we're looking in, and you will hear quite a distinctive sound. Now if you look in the right direction, you can see it is landing there, but actually it came from kind of more towards the left. So don't look directly towards the south, try to angle a little bit towards the left, and you should see the shooting star coming down, and when it has landed it kind of shows this beacon of light. So just kind of head down, and all of these will have some protectors, some baddies for you to face. However, we're just going to ignore them. We're just going to get that salvage headwear and do a little bit of fast travel to get out of the situation as quickly as we can. So that moves us on to the second challenge, and there we go. We've got the first part of this headset, this new costume. It's the Salvager Headwear. So we're just going to equip that. You can see it doesn't really do a huge deal of difference to Link as it stands, but kind of a little bit later on it will do. So now we're moving on to the second of the challenge, the eastern sky from the Skull's left eye. And if you zoom in just up here, you will find Skull Lake and the Zunakai Shrine. So we are just fast traveling over to the Zunakai Shrine, and we are kind of looking out straight ahead of it, a little bit straight on, a little bit to the left, and we're just sort of a little bit to the right now, and we're just sort of looking up at the sky, and hopefully at some time soon there will be a bit of a flash of a meteor. So there we go, there it comes down there, and we can see it landing in the distance. So there we go, it was actually a little bit towards the right hand side in the end. So if you jump off and fly on over, you should be able to head up to pick up that next treasure chest. So when you land over the other side, you should just be able to track this hill up and follow the beacon of light. So it's a little bit of a hike, and it's a little bit further away than the first one was, and it takes a little bit more time. So if you just kind of head up this hill over the other side of the ridge, and you should be able to look down on where it is. You can see we've got a blood moon rising fairly soon, so we're hoping to be able to pick this up before that kicks in. So we're just going to ignore anything and everything that gets in the way, just kind of sprint past it, and what we're trying to do is get straight to the chest as quickly as possible, because as soon as we get to the chest we can then fast travel out of here. So just head up to the chest, click A, and you should get the second item, which is the Salvager vest. And from here you can do a little bit of fast traveling, so just do that straight away. And the place that you want to aim for is Headwear Tower, which is to the east of Rito Village. So when you get to Headwear Tower, what you're actually looking to get to is that mountain up there, and it is Headwear Peak. And you can see it looks like it's been pierced. It's got a little gap in the middle of it, and that is a part of the clue. The southeastern sky from the peak of the pierced snowy mountain. So here we are heading up to the peak. So it takes a little bit of time to work your way up here, but you can see there's a couple of things that are a problem. Number one, it's the daytime, and number two, we don't have any shrines that are close to here to be able to fast travel. We've got kind of a few different save points within the game kind of active, and within this one that we've chosen to do for the video, we don't have a shrine that we can fast travel from. So we could fast travel somewhere to turn it to night, but we couldn't fast travel back. So that's a bit of an issue. Now, for anybody that does have a fast travel point close to here, then you can just sort of skip straight ahead in the video and move on to the later points and head straight up to the peak and complete this challenge. But for everybody else, stick around, because we're going to try and find the nearest shrine for you to be able to activate. So if you get to the top of Headwear Peak, you should be able to look back down the peak, down behind you, and you can see, number one, there's a shrine there that you can go to, so you can just sort of jump on down, but equally there is a second shrine just around here to the left. So if you kind of skim down the mountain with the paraglider and then arc to the left around about now, you'll start to see it appearing just underneath here. So it is surrounded by ice blocks, and you can just see it in the distance there, just about now-ish. You should be able to see that it's a shrine behind those ice blocks. So we're just going to head on down there. We're going to get rid of that ice, and we're going to allow us to have a quick travel point to be able to go and turn this into night, and then we can head back up Headwear Peak. So when you get down here, you can head back up a little ways and find two wood piles. So there's a wood pile and a little fire place here so that we can light it with a bit of flint. So obviously just drop your flint on the fire, hit it with your sword, and suddenly you've got a flame. So now we can use that to be able to melt the ice down below. So we're just going to get our branch lit and head down and try and get the kind of fire started down here. So we've dropped some wood as well, and we're just trying to let that kind of melt this, but as it turns out, it's not close enough to be able to melt it. So you need your stick to be able to do that. Now, if you kind of run out of your stick before you've melted enough of the ice, you can drop more wood piles to make a little bit of a pile, which then frees up this Moblin Club. So we can then light the Moblin Club and use it to melt more of the ice. But unfortunately, by doing that, we've also let this dude out. So we're just going to give him a bit of a clubbing to get him out the way, and we should just have enough light to open up that shrine. And once you've got the Goma Asa shrine, you can then fast travel away and make it night. So once you're back here and it is nighttime, you can head back up to Headwear Peak. Now, Headwear Peak is probably the most difficult of these three challenges. It's difficult in that it's a bit further away, so you've got a bit of a travel to be able to get up to it, but equally it's more difficult to look up at the sky because it is pretty shrouded in snow. So you can see we're kind of looking out towards the castle, towards Hyrule Castle there, and we're looking away in the distance, and it is kind of southeast, but we've kind of had to move around a little bit. So there you can see us kind of moving a bit to the right and moving a bit to the left, and you'll hear the distinctive sound, but you probably won't see the meteorite falling. You won't see the comet falling to the ground, which is kind of a little bit disturbing because you kind of think, have I done it? I'm not too sure. So just be persistent, try and look in the same direction that we've looked. So there you can see a little to the right of where the castle is. And when you look back down at the ground, you should see where the comet has landed. So you can see that kind of light there. So it's just the case of doing a little bit of paragliding down to pick up the last of the loot. So you just kind of head down, and again, you've got some nasties to avoid, but just sort of ignore them, get to the chest, open it up, and that will give you the Salvager trousers. And that completes this kind of random conundrum for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now we're just going to quickly do a little bit of a fast travel out of here to get away from those nasties. So once we're back here, we should be able to put them on. But you can see it's actually a bit chilly to see the Salvager wear here up in Hebra. So we're just going to travel over to Zora so that we can have a look at the outfits properly. So there you can see the Salvager gear in all its glory from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It looks pretty cool, and it looks pretty cool here next to Prince Sidon. And as well as looking cool, it also gives you a swim speed up. So there we go, that is the end of the walkthrough. Hopefully it helps you find the gear yourself. Make sure you subscribe to our channel for more videos in the future, and hit that like button as much as you can. If you've got any comments or any questions about how to complete that task, drop them in the comments below. Cheers guys, goodbye. Magazine!